and welcome back to my channel. Today I would love to talk about a little bit of small talk and how to overcome shyness. Because we know in our job we need to be outgoing and we need to make a rapport with the guests right away. But what happens if we're a little bit shy and that is something that seems like, kind of a big mountain to climb? So I'd love to talk to you today about some tips and tricks on how to overcome shyness and be able to make a really good rapport to your guests. When we overcome shyness, it does a lot of things, especially with our job, because it makes our guests want to like us a little bit more. And also when our guests like us more, they trust us more, and in that way they'll end up perhaps taking our suggestion. They'll end up tipping us more, they'll have a better time, and they'll end up leaving the restaurant thinking, wow, that was a great experience, and they'll be more likely to come back. So there's a lot of advantages to overcoming shyness. In the past, I have had friends say to me, yeah, but once you get to know this person, then you really like them. And I think that's fine if I have a lot of time. But in our job, when we go down to the table and we only just have a few seconds, or if we're lucky, a couple minutes, those people need to like us in just a very short time frame. So we don't have time to, once you get to know the person, length of time. So we gotta build it really fast. We need to remember that small talk needs to be usually unimportant things and non-controversial things. So here are some different ideas and topics that we can talk about to the guests to make a rapport really fast. Small talk does a couple different things for us. It builds a connection with our guests very quickly. Another thing is it just fills awkward gaps that may be in the conversation, or if you're doing something down at the table and there is a silence, it is a little bit awkward. And if you feel it's awkward, it could also be awkward for your guests. So it fills that little gap right in there. And it also, of course, makes you a lot more likable and makes the service more personal. So try to really develop a true interest in people. When you go down to your table, look at your guests and think, oh, what do I possibly have in common with these people? If it's a hot date, you could think about, oh, I think that I'll just keep things very uncontroversial and I will make the conversation, a little bit happy and up. If it's business people, you can really go into how you'd like to give them respect with their time and also respect with their time limits that they have at the restaurant. And then in there, you can start weaving different little small conversations in. Never make negative comments down at the table. If you think something is really off that they have said, or maybe they start talking about something you don't really have so much of an interest in, try to keep it positive anyway. Say, oh, that's really great, or I really love that, or I really like that, what you are talking about right now. Something to keep it positive. Never let them know that you think it was a really not interesting topic. So of course our job is an acting job as well, and just seem like you're interested in everyone. Doesn't mean like deep down in your heart you have to be interested, but just act like you're interested, because this is a show. Eating out is actually some type of entertainment for these people. Nice question we could ask is, do you have any exciting plans for today? In that way, you also can start talking about maybe they're going to the theater, maybe you also saw it, maybe they need directions to the theater if they're tourists. But it also starts up, exciting. If we're gonna talk about something exciting, then hopefully they can bring something to the table as well, and then you can spin off of that to continue a small talk conversation. If two people are coming in and they look like they're dressed up, you can say, oh, are we celebrating something today? And then, of course, maybe it's a birthday or an anniversary or something. And if it is, remember to congratulate them on that. And then you can kind of spin off on that as well. Obvious thing to talk about is, for example, the weather. And the weather, of course, where I am in Denmark, it changes all the time. Right now it is a little bit boring, but the weather is something that is non-controversial, and it also is a little unimportant because everyone knows how it is, but everyone can always put their peace of mind or their ideas in it. If your weather is gray and dreary like it is right here today, try to keep it very positive in a way like, oh, at least it's not raining, or it's actually not as cold as I thought it would be today, or oh, I get to wear my favorite hat today, or I get to wear my favorite coat that I just got for a Christmas present possibly. and you can spin off of that as well. Maybe there's a zoo in your town and one of the animals had a baby, or you have a new animal there or something. Of course, you can start talking about that as well. These are really safe things to talk about, and entertainment has such a broad spectrum of things, but also just know in your town what are the entertainment areas and things to see for entertainment so you can start talking about it. Especially if they're travelers, it's a super easy subject to start talking about, give directions, recommending different things that they can even do. Easy topic, also in the restaurant industry, of course, when you have some guests, is food. Talk about your menu card. It's also an easy way to get in that suggestion, but you can throw something else out there that is very general. For example, what's the most interesting thing that you've ever eaten? And then maybe they'll say something, and then you can go into, well, the most interesting thing that we have in our menu is blah, 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 blah. Or if they've eaten here at your restaurant before, you can ask, what's your favorite item in the menu last time that you were here? And would you like it again? Or I can give you a suggestion of something that's quite close that will give you the same type of experience. So talking about food is not only a very uncontroversial thing to do and a fun thing to talk about, especially when people are hungry, they love to talk about food, but it's also a little leeway to get in with your special recommendation or one of your favorite items on the menu, so you can keep talking about your favorite things you want to sell and also lead them down a little bit of road about how to have the best experience in your restaurant. News is another hot topic you can talk about, and every day there's something on the news, but we need to remember a lot of the things that are going on the news could be quite negative things. So you need to shift your words around a little bit to make it a little bit more positive. The other thing, it does take a little bit of homework. You need to watch or listen to the news a little bit every day so you know what's going on. I can highly recommend it in general. I mean, we should really know what's going on in our world, right? And a lot of people coming into the restaurant are very much into the news. And if you can end up talking about the news, they'll think, wow, what an intelligent person. You're really staying up with the news. Remember not to talk about maybe controversial topics if you possibly can, because then you may or may not end up making a friend at the table, and the last thing you want to do is make an enemy or someone that you would have a disagreement down at the table. One of my favorite sayings is, hey, is there anything fun, new, and exciting going on with you today? And a lot of people have to think about the answer a little bit and be like, fun, exciting with me today, and they'll really try to pick something. So whatever they pick, then of course you can spin off on there, and you can also press the like button because it really helps our channel to get more information out to help a lot of you. So please go and do that. Because we're going into 2020, you can always also use that as a topic. For example, what are your plans in 2020? Or what are some big things that you want to get done in 2020? Or what are you looking most forward to in 2020? And of course, whatever answer that is, hopefully that can give you some ideas how to keep that going. If you even, for example, use one of these questions and you get an answer from that, you can use that as a spin-off to guide the conversation through the whole entire meal. It's not like you're sitting down or standing down there at the table the whole entire time during the meal having this conversation. I mean, you have to go get the drinks, and you need to order the food, and you need to bring the food back, but every now and then when you come in, you can kind of go revert back to that conversation. So maybe you only need one of the little topics that we talked about today. I would like to, just as an ending here, talk about some awkward conversation topics, just so we're on the same lines of things we should probably stay away from. And that is politics and religion, personal finances, personal appearances, especially if they're not so positive. Death or illness. Personal gossip is never a good thing to talk about. Offensive jokes, even if you think they're funny, keep them to yourself to after you have your uniform off. Anything that is so specific that only a few people can relate to also is a little bit of a gamble. You want to keep things very general. And any topics of sexual nature, of course, could make people uneasy at the table. If you do end up saying something where you see in their body language and their face like, oh crud, I shouldn't end up saying that, you need to repair it right away, because of course you need to have them leave at a good time, and you still need to get a good rapport with this person. I really like the sentence that says, oop, you know what, I said something wrong there, and I really apologize. Let's talk about something else. And then just change the subject right there. If you do make a mistake, I always believe that the best thing to do is to apologize and to move on. Hopefully they will also be the same. But remember, if you keep all your topics really light, you probably won't get into this situation as well. I can highly recommend that you go and make some notes about some maybe 3 different topics that we talked about today, and get some questions for yourself, so next time you're on the floor, you can try 1 or 2 or 3 of these topics with your guests to see if it helps you break the ice, break that awkward gap that you might have, that silence gap that you have when you are serving. And I hope that you have a wonderful week, and let's go out and give an amazing service. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and I thank you so much for watching my video. Please hit the thumbs up because it really helps our channel. And if you'd like more tips and tricks on service and how to up your service game, click here. And press on my face right here to subscribe. And don't forget to ring the little bell icon so you get a notification every time I come out with a new video. Follow me on Instagram, and let's go out and get amazing service.